Hello everybody, today's video is a quick but a fun one, I hope, about things I've removed from children's bodies. So many memories through the years and so many episodes of this, more than I can remember, but I'm going to share a few that I can recall. I do remember a little boy who came in, maybe 4 or 5 years old, because his mom had noticed foul-smelling discharge from his nose, but on one side. So there's a little medical tip for any medical students who are listening. Foul-smelling unilateral nasal drainage is often a foreign body, if you get that as a board question. So mom brought child in with just thick, green, nasty stuff. And she thought she saw something in his nose, but wasn't sure. Remember, a lot of foreign bodies and noses and ears are unobserved. Like when the child puts it in there, you don't know it. And you only know when they complain of pain or have this discharge. So I had a nurse helping me, and we had the little guy on the exam table, and I was at the end of the exam table looking sort of over him from the top of his head. And I was using a blunt probe to try to get behind and around without causing bleeding or trauma, and then push that down so we could get it out. Now, quick backstory, and I'm just being real here and honest. Maybe it's just me, but I feel like a lot of us primary care physicians, I don't know, we really hate to have to waste the time of an ear, nose, and throat surgeon to remove a foreign body. So it almost feels like an admission of defeat if we have to refer the child for them to get out the foreign body when we feel like we should be able to do it. So we're very motivated to get that done. So this little guy's on the table. I'm exploring with the blunt probe, trying to be very delicate, not to cause any bleeding. Finally, I do get behind whatever that black, it's black and shiny, whatever it is. I get behind it and I pop it out. There is no better feeling in the world. I don't have to send him to ENT. I am victorious, except then my nurse nearly passed out. The smell was overwhelming from all the gunk that had built up behind us. Well, when we finally got down to it and cleaned it up in the paper towel in the room, it had been the wheel of a Matchbox car. So just be aware, you really don't want to put the wheel of a Matchbox car up your nose, and be aware of your kids if you're missing some Matchbox wheels where they could be. Other things are, a lot of little girls will play with, will pretend they have earrings on, and I did have one that was playing with rocks, accidentally got some rocks in her external ear canal, thinking that she was pretending they were earrings. We had to get those out. That actually ended up, it was a referral, but right before they went into surgery, they came out. What else? Oh, this was a good one. So there was a toddler. This one was a girl. She had been just walking around the house, and they'd had a party, and mom had a bowl of Tootsie Rolls on the coffee table in the house. Evidently, she had somehow found them, or someone had eaten a Tootsie Roll and sort of, I think this is what happened, and played with the wrapper. So they had the empty wrapper, probably the adult or an older child, and they folded it exactly in half and then exactly in half and rolled it up. Well, she found that and put it up her nose. So that was another one of those really bad, foul-smelling results. But we were successful, and the entire Tootsie Roll wrapper was intact, so we know we got it all out. We have rinsed out insect parts from ears. I know on a mission trip once, we rinsed out an entire intact but dead cockroach. So if a child ever has a live bug in their ear, if it's getting anywhere close to their tympanic membrane, they will scream in pain and writhe about as if having a seizure almost. So that's a really, really big deal. Another one that was funny out of an ear. A lot of things in the ear will end up getting wrapped in wax or stuck in there because of the earwax or cerumen. And with this one, I used alligator clamps, which are just like little tiny clamps on the end of a longer. And I reached in and pulled it out. Felt very proud of myself, as usual. And then we sort of realized, we looked at it and it was paper, but it was all rolled together. So we stretched it out. Oh my goodness. That child evidently had been sitting in church, had the church bulletin, pulled down a little strip of the bulletin, and then rolled it up like a little tiny cigarette and then stuck it in their ear. The other one, really funny, I remember this one. So I don't know if you've seen some of the Lego people, and they can have different themes. And well, evidently, this little person found a Lego person that was like a pretend pencil. And so the Lego person's head looked like a pencil eraser. So it was round and pink, and then a silver band, and it hooked on his head. That was like his head was the pencil eraser. And this little child had gotten that off and then shoved it up their nose. And there's this thing called the mother's kiss, where we try to, you can blow on one side to try to get out the other side. And the child came in that day with the mom and 2 older siblings. Mom was holding the child, and I was just trying to play and teach him. And so we practiced taking great big breaths. Good job. Let it out. Another great big breath. And we practiced. And finally, and mom was ready for me, He took a really, really, really big breath, and I clamped my hand over his mouth and held down his other nostril and said, blah, 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 blah. And he blew out the other, and sure enough, that little Lego pencil head shot across the room, landed on the tiled floor. You know, it was super fast because it was lubricated with all his mucus. And then as soon as it landed, the older two siblings pounced on it because they both thought it was their piece of their Lego set that he had stolen and hidden in his nose. And they didn't seem to care that it was covered in slime. So I'll never forget that one either. There are lots of great stories through the years of removing body parts. Not body parts, parts from the body. And so just remember, if your children like to explore, please discourage them from placing peas or any kind of food up their nose or in their ear, as it can cause some problems. But most of the time we can take care of those problems. I hope this was as entertaining for you as it has been for me. Bye.